Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back. I'm now the ashamed owner of more custodes. Ashamed? No. Needed those Venatari though? Yeah, the Venatari are sick. Need those for sure. Potential Eldar jump scare incoming. Eh? Today I'll be continuing to paint the Rot Core Dryad. Mostly it is finishing up the bark. I hear they did not meet sales expectations. The custodes? They didn't sell enough? That's interesting. I wonder if it's because of all the weirdos, you know? Due to the heresy title on the new models, that also could be it. Could never fear a big strong yeah. Yeah. It's also possible that, like, because I don't think they were that different from the old models. I could be wrong. You know, I don't collect custodes, so could be that people didn't feel the need to update their existing armies. Some Tau. Yo. Genius. Plastic Valdor when? Yo. Proportions are better. Less dynamic poses though? I also heard they're kind of scaled off of the like off of the Horus Heresy model range. Which I guess could make sense. Like, because, you know, they'd be scaled off of Firstborn, not Primaris. But it does mean that Primaris Marines are, you know, almost as large as Custodes, scale-wise. We need Erebus back first. Hey yo. I don't know about all that. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it wouldn't really make sense for 40k custodes to be larger than, you know, the Horus Heresy custodes. So it's only an issue because they keep upscaling Marines. Grey Knights win, yo. Facts. They need it bad, huh? Yeah, I'll see if I can dig up some pictures. The main issue is I did sell all my Grey Knights. So yeah, let's see if I can dig up some pictures of them. And you can judge my paint jobs from however many years ago that was. Long ago. I'm trying to dissuade him from Grey Knights, but apparently he's stronger than I am. Yeah. No, I did a bunch of conversion. All my Grey Knights were converted. I used the 3rd edition Age of Sigmar box to kit bash Stormcast Eternals with Grey Knights to kind of upscale them. It turned out, it was pretty cool. Are the brown bubbly things eggs? What, you mean this? Those are skulls. Or like down here, also skulls. Different kind of creepy? Yeah. Is a man of culture using Sigmarines as kit bash material? They're pretty good kit bash material, especially for Marines. All my Blood Angels in the 11th box are gonna beautiful bits and basing material. Yeah. So you're getting the starter box? You think? Just for the orcs? Got it. Yeah, I don't know. Right now I'm thinking I'm probably not gonna get it, but we'll see what happens. They've only showed off like 3 models from the box, so like and I'm not super impressed with what they did with the Marines, so no ornamental for all that vet, yeah. Drove some dope vehicles, yeah. Crux Terminatus doesn't count. Yeah. It looks pretty flat, and they were like, oh, it's fancy because we're mixing armor marks. And I'm like, I do that anyway, you know? Like... Like they did the most basic like helmet kit bash kind of thing, and we're like, look, it's special. I'm like, who's gonna tell them? Yeah. Kit Basher's already doing that anyway. It's like, okay, sure. Like the Vanguard vet, I'm not mad about because they did need a scale up, right? Same with like, you know, 10th Ed had Terminators and Sternguard vet, like, which all needed a scale up. You know, that's fine. But an intercessor, just like a generic intercessor, is a little disappointing. Orcs are a huge win, yeah. A lot of the Orcs models needed some updates as well, so that should be exciting. We'll get another faction release? I don't think so. I mean, they tried to, like, get rid of Death Watch and, and, like, Harlequins and, like, Inquisitorial agents and, like, Chaos Demons, right? Like it seems like they've been trying to get rid of a bunch of factions. And then, of course, everyone rioted, and they were like, "All right, we'll bring them back." They have been trimming back a lot. They did semi-bring Deathwatch back. Yeah, that's what they're like. All right. If you're gonna riot, we'll bring them back. What I miss? We were talking about the 11th edition. Potential things that might come in the new edition. Ravenwing would be dope. That's what big speculation, thinking Ravenwing's gonna have a big release because this is like quote unquote the biker edition where they're gonna be bringing bikers back. I wonder if that also means like factions like White Scars will get something good in this release. And of course Drukhari, yeah. At least 100 more Ultramarines models. For sure. For sure. Actual jet bikes, I don't think GW have it in them. They could. They could. Now if it was Calgar on a jet bike, I could get behind it. Hey, yo. For sure, for sure. We're getting there. It's always the first highlight that takes the most amount of time, you know? Looks great though? Yeah, yeah. That's why you gotta do it, right? It's like, takes forever, but you do it because it looks great. I mean, couldn't be me. Yeah. So now we have our, you know, our brown, which this is probably something like Baneblade brown from Citadel. Just mixing in white and dark umber, which is probably something like Dryad bark. So now we can take in a little more white here to lighten it up. Probably something a little bit like, I don't know, Rakarth Flesh now. Although probably a little bit paler. You can go down a brush size too, so that we have an easier time making the, you know, fitting our highlights inside our previous highlights. And this is where pictures like this come in handy here. So this is just a picture of the model that I took after priming it. And you can see the highlights here pretty distinctly. So now instead of doing, you know, general highlights on all of the texture to separate elements and highlight the texture. We're going to be kind of following where the highlights land on the model in our picture, so that's to kind of add a little bit of realism to our model here. Our highlight placement should be accurate, This guy is good, yeah. It's a fairly easy thing to do. That I think is a lot easier than trying to figure out highlight placements myself, because I'm not that smart, That's what I always say. Never thought of that. That's awesome. Yeah, it's something that's you go to those painting classes with the professional painters, and they're like, just take a picture of the model after you prime it. And generally, you don't want shine a torch and still get it wrong. Yeah, well, because it's hard, like when you're holding it and rotating the model. For example, I have. Oh, you can see my Corsairs in the background. You kind of just you put the model down and take a picture from the various different sides, and then that way you're not moving the light source or the model. But yeah, as long as your black primer isn't too matte. Most primers have like a satin finish, which is kind of what you want to make sure it like clearly reflects the highlights. That's the last we'll see of those void scars. No, they'll get painted. Don't worry. They'll get their time in the sun. Honestly, if I'm... Oh, it's already been like 45 minutes. Rip. But if I get cooking on this model, it might even show up tomorrow. You can also just, rule of cool place some highlights. And as long as you generally follow, like, hey, the parts in the picture that are brighter should be generally brighter than, other parts. You don't have to follow it exactly. But yeah, if you're like, this part looks a little sad, you know? Put your chef hat on. Things are about to get spicy. Yeah, for sure. I did not paint this guy in the box art scheme. Partially because the box art doesn't really exist yet. They did have an official like studio paint job that was like, it was more of an orangish brownish red, and they didn't do the two colored mushrooms. I did the two colored mushrooms because I found some, my inspiration pictures were like, the red mushrooms with like the, white, light brown / white stalks is kind of what I was going for. So I changed up the color of the mushrooms and stuff. And I think my bark will end up being a different color as well. So a little bit different. In short, no. I'm not painting this guy up as box art. You can't deny me the context. I thrive off the context. Yeah. So you can see like some of the ways that you know, you can deal with highlights is the amount of the highlight color that you apply. So like, for example, you can see that, you know, towards the top, you know, the places that are bright in my picture, I'm applying a lot of the paint. You know, just like many marks, because, you know, it's textured bark. So I'm doing lots of small marks. But then down here, you know, I can still use that same color, but just like sparingly, so that we're still, you know, we're still highlighting and defining, you know, interesting detail on the model, but because we are using less of that highlight color, it comes off as darker. But see that this place here is where kind of the light catches, so we apply a lot of the color, and then on the bottom, maybe we still want a little bit of that bark texture to come off, but we're using it very sparingly, so that that part that's supposed to catch light does look brighter. Found Custodes proxies and they're pretty fire. Sheesh. That sounds exciting. Gonna post them in the Discord? Sounds good. I'll take a look. Does your volume of highlights also apply to the first round? It does. And another thing you can do is, you know, because generally you'll need to do some blending on a model. You can also come in, like, let's see, I'll do, yeah. So this is my smoke ink, which is the dark brown ink I've been using. When we come in with the shade, to help blend, because generally we highlight up and then blend with darker colors. And of course we're dabbing it on a paper towel so that we have a nice glaze amount on our brush. We can apply more of our glaze to the darker recesses as well. So both applying a lower volume of highlights, you know, you can use, you know, not as bright of a color, and you can apply more of your, you know, when you're kind of blending, you can apply more paints, like more of your glaze into those areas. And that'll keep those areas darker. You can do like any one of those. You could do all three. I tend to do a mixture of all three, because it helps. You know, it helps when you're applying highlights to highlight up bright, so that you can kind of see what it looks like, and then kind of work your way back down. This just broke my mind. So that was kind of a lot of information. So I will answer you know, your questions if you have more questions later as well. But yeah, kind of the nice thing about coming in and blending with like glazes and stuff is that, yeah, you can also use it to kind of control places where you've like over applied the highlights. You know, it also helps you maintain saturation, because, you know, when you're applying highlights, you're essentially just adding in a lot of white. So you tend to lose your color. You know, glazing and blending is it serves a lot of purposes at the same time. So I've always worked from dark to light and felt it looked odd darkening my highlights down again. Yeah, it's because it can be a bit of back and forth, you know? Like it's hard to just say, okay, I'm gonna go dark to light and I'm gonna apply the perfect amount of highlights in the perfect places first time, you know? Like that doesn't, you know, that doesn't super happen, right? Like it's not really practical to say that, right? So kind of, you know, building up highlights and pushing your highlights bright, and then, you know, being able to take things like, you know, inks and contrast paints and shades that are, you know, your transparent colors, to kind of bring those back down. Super nice to be able to do. And it, you know, makes your blends smoother because you're, you know, because you're using glazes and stuff. Opening up Patreon or something with painting tips, I thought about it, and honestly, first I would probably do YouTube. I'd probably make YouTube videos, but it's kind of a lot of work. If I'm honest, it's a lot of work to make videos and stuff, so I'm a new man after this? Yo. I'm glad I could help you out. It's always Etsy? Yeah, these proxies look nice. Yo, what are these dog things? These dog things look sick. The robed dogs that are holding like extra ammunition. Yo. Yeah, those are awesome. The wings look nice on the wing. They look fire? I agree. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for in my models. I'll never be the same. I'm glad I could help. Stick around for more painting tips. And yeah, it's also like that. It's also like that trade-off of, time investment, right? Like, how much time are you willing to put into a model? So like, this, you know, continued process of highlighting and glazing down and highlighting again, I won't do on like, you know, standard infantry troops, but like a character model or something, or like, you know, this is like a nice display scale model that I'm looking to paint up super nice. Like, I'll do more steps. Whereas like, you know, maybe batch painting infantry, I'll just do kind of one stage where I just highlight up and then apply a glaze, and that's it, right? Like, highlight up, apply a glaze, done. Not highlight glaze kind of thing, you know? I still have no idea for my golden boys and girls. So many gold paints right now. Purple and gold is a good shout. Red and gold, the classic, I'm a big fan of. Blue and gold, also a good choice. I think those are top 3 for sure. One squad blue and gold, one red and gold. That's an option. Too many choices? His custodes and a forest dryad kind of look. I have seen that. That looks pretty cool. I dislike Retributor, too orange. You know, I've heard the Vallejo True Metallics are pretty good. Rich Gold from Pro Acryl I think is pretty good, but it's also pretty orange. I have a way, but your time isn't gonna like it. Uh-oh. Yeah, generally a good way to kind of take the orange out of it could be just to highlight and shade a lot, right? Like, generally the way you highlight metallics is you just you mix in silver. That both brightens it and would make it like less orange, but it would, you know, you would be doing a lot of highlighting, right? If you want the mid-tone to be a different color. So it would probably just be easier to find a different gold color to start with. You know, one thing I probably should do is I should probably add the Wildwood game to my hashtags list. That would be the pro streamer move thing to do, huh? To the tags on my stream? Banished me to the warp, but don't thin it with water? Oh no! Say it isn't so! Experimenting so much after I move? Yeah. Yeah, if you overthin metallics, they do get... It does, like, pull out, I mean, I guess the proper term is it breaks the paint. And metallic paints are easier to break than non-metallic paints. was more accurate. I agree. When I initially found it, I was like, wow, this is incredible. And then I started to use it, and I was like, oh, it's like not super accurate. Which is pretty tragic, you know? It's kind of like it's like a half-baked kind of idea, where they kind of started it and then just said, good enough. And just left it. I agree. That's why I initially went with gold because of, you know, what the app was telling me, and like kind of what certain parts of the box art was. But then I realized most of it's like Rune Lord brass type of deal, so. Yeah, they also don't tell you like how much of each paint, and like, you know, if they mix colors, they don't really tell you that. So Alright. Now I'm gonna come in. I've been tinting the bark with this green gold color here. To make it look more foresty, mossy bark. To take a break to send someone to the Shadow Realm real quick. I got caught slacking. I blame it on the Lord of the Rings. It got to the good part. Sheesh. Nice. His Gandalf is the man? Yep. Yes, he is. Ew. Whoops. Well. My phone is also gonna get a nice green gold tint to it. The facts. Because Samwise is the GOAT. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks for stopping by, Dark Mage. Yeah, I'll see you next stream. Have a good rest of your day. So yeah, now I'm just coming in with the dark brown ink and making sure that my recesses are nice and dark here. And it shows all that nice sculpted texture on the bark. Comes through. And I think that's a good place to stop for the bark at the moment. Might come in and do some more work on it later, but I think for now that's looking pretty good. And I do think I'm gonna stop it here for the day. Yeah, I wasn't able to finish the model, so I'll be working on this one again tomorrow. And it'll be kind of finishing up the other details. So like the mushrooms that are growing on the arm, the skulls, touching up the rocks, the little mushrooms that are on the base, the eye of the dragon that's on this guy's arm, that kind of stuff. So yeah, as always, thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you again next time. Until then, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. So, bye! It really is a fire model? 100%. Hopefully, we get it finished next time. Yep, I'll see you later, Wolf.